Hey there, this is Ryan Nickel, and this is Bootstrap Real Estate Investor, Day in the Life. This is episode number 19, and this is on the heels of my last little rant. All right, so we talked about how I was being, we'll keep this one PG this time, how I was just being afraid to take any kind of action. So we canceled a contract that we had just because it just wasn't working out. And he actually, on his porch of his house, we were walking out, he goes, look, man, I can lower the price down this. So he came down another $15,000 for us. And I don't know if that's going to push anyone over the edge or not, because like I said, there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done there. So anyway, doing things right. That's this little episode's message here. Doing things right. So went over and got myself a nice little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house in contract right here. Bam. And she gave me the keys, got the keys in hand, and basically she's walked away from the property, does not want the property anymore, and said that this house is yours. Hiccup on this one, though. This was a first-time home buyer, and the first-time home buyer has a clause in it, because she used a first-time home buyer program, and basically it is that anytime that she moves out, or the property turns into a rental, or any number of things that could happen to it, there's a second mortgage on this. It's a silent second mortgage that it's due to it's owned by the city, so the city owns this property as far as the second mortgage goes, that they owe it to the city. So the challenge that I have with this is that I could go ahead and I could bring their mortgage current, because the first mortgage is behind a little bit, and I could put a renter in there. And I could do, the original strategy was to just not pay the first mortgage, and not pay, obviously, the second mortgage if they wanted to foreclose on us, and just put a renter in there and just fight the foreclosure, hire an attorney, and just kick this can down the road 2-3 years. We realized that that's probably not the best idea. Rents in the area are not that strong. It's only about between $650, maybe $700 at most for rents. So decided that we're not going to do that. That's probably not the best option for us. But what I want to do is I want to actually get this property, because the monthly payment on it is not that bad. It's about almost $500 a month. And if I can get $700 in rent out of it, it's a nice little cash flow. But we have this challenge with the city, where if someone moves into it as a rental, they're going to want to call that note due. So here's the dilemma. They bought this house for $150,000. It's currently, right now, the first mortgage on it is for $82,000. The second mortgage that owed to the city is $60,000. And that's due, the maturity date of that is like 2038. So we got quite a while on that. So if they foreclose on this property, if the city decides they want to go ahead and exercise their right to foreclose, what will happen is they're going to get wiped out completely, because this property is only worth about $67,000 in its current condition. It needs some deferred maintenance, needs some work on it. So the city, if they exercise that, they're gone. They're completely wiped out. The first lender gets everything, and that's it. It's a done deal. I went to them. So again, my option was to not tell them and just put a renter in there and just, ride that one for as long as I can. And, maybe that could have, that would work, because I don't think they don't even know. They're clueless, the fact that this person is no longer in the property, hasn't been in the property since October, and that the payments are behind 2 months. So with that in mind, I decided that I was actually going to do, quote unquote, the right thing. So I went down to the city and I said, hey, look, this is the house that I'm actually going to buy. What's up, Walter? Here's my contract. Here's what I'm doing. My intent is to put a renter into this property. And when I got the deed of trust, you got to know your paperwork. So I read the deed of trust, and the deed of trust has a clause. It's a small little clause, and it says that they can substitute someone else as the beneficiary, which is who the buyers are, the beneficiaries, with proper written consent. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. I have nothing to lose on this property. I mean, if I get it, great. If I don't, I don't. So I went down to the city and I said, look, this is what my intent is. Here's my contract. Here's everything that I plan on doing with this property. Everything's on the table here. I know you can foreclose. If you do, this is what will happen. You'll end up with having nothing. My intent is to keep this property for 10 years, maybe longer, and refinance it and put it into my name. I don't really intend to do that. I'll probably sell it before then. But get them paid off or whatever, or let it go to maturity and then pay it off that way in 2038. I said, this is exactly what I want to do. Do you have any problem with me doing this? How do I go about getting this written authorization from you that would allow me to transplant myself as the beneficiary once I'm not assuming this debt, I'm not assuming the first mortgage, I am just going to take over payments on it. I'm going to purchase it subject to that existing debt. And surprisingly enough, they're like, I understand exactly what you're trying to do. I really don't see an issue with that. I need to check with our city attorney, whatever that means, who knows. But anyway, that's where I'm at on this one. I feel very confident that that I'll be able to get what I need to do on this one. It's in Oroville, by the way. If you don't know the news, there's some dam that's about to break, or it was about to break. So the property values definitely aren't nearly as anywhere where they were several years ago. And plus, I bought this. It's crazy. They bought this house in 2008, so they bought it right before the crash, right before things started coming down. Because this property, like I said, it's currently assessed for $72,000, and it's worth about $62 in its current condition. So, trying to do things right here. I'll keep you posted on this one. I'll let you know how this one plays out. These traditionally, when I've taken, I've avoided taking over a first-time homebuyer loan subject to, for that specific reason that once the transfers ownership, once someone moves in as a renter, it's gone. It's completely, they call it due. And I've actually seen that happen. I've seen them foreclosed or with the intent to foreclose on several different buyers in the past, mainly in Idaho when I used to have a mortgage company, because this is when that was very popular. But then again, property prices and the valuations were extremely high then. So I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know exactly what happens, and if I'm able to get this one, it'll be a huge win. A huge win, not because I got a property under contract subject to, and I put a renter in there and I was able to do it, but that I was able to work with the city on a first-time home buyer basis. I think it's a win-win all the way around. It's a win for the city. They're not out the money. It's $60,000 that they would be just pissing away by forcing the foreclosure. The first mortgage company, they're getting their money. I'll bring it current. I'm able to preserve the person's credit who had the home, the original borrower. I'm able to make some money on it. It's a win all the way around. I hope they see it my way, and I'll keep you posted. This is a day in the life of real estate investing with Ryan Nickel from Bootstrap REI.